how's the CCP already holding over the Philippines' heads? Hey, give us the South China Sea and we'll give you a vaccine.
So we can say based on the scientific fact that we can say that vaccine, you want to let people believe it works for, and then they want to do some deal with you because they want their people get protected, right? But when the government or the scientists, if they really try to push this vaccine to the market, they can tell you something. They can play on the word. For example, they tell you, we have the neutralization antibody. That's all they list in the vaccine clinical trial in COVID-19 now. Yes, neutralizing antibody in many diseases, it is the right one to help you to fight with the pathogen when you meet it again. Have neutralizing antibody is good, but here we should talk about the antibody-dependent enhancement and also the neutralization antibody generated by the spike protein was already shown in the SARS study before that also bring you the side effect. That's what we mean the ADE. So you
美国研究，纽约许多年轻人确诊后进急诊室，不到24小时，病情便急剧恶化，甚至出现多重器官功能障碍。原因不排除是新冠病毒持续突变，让这些已经感染过的无症状者二次感染时产生 ADE 效应，有点像病毒先探路，再来就攻城略地。
是一个吴三桂引清兵入关的一个案例。这个抗体呢，不见得是保护你的，它反而让你的系统快速的诱发出来对抗第二次感染的新冠病毒。
这个问题不解决的话呢，整个疫苗的发展也受到很大的阻碍。
So you understand now, you just tell people something good. You don't tell them the bad side. And common people, they don't understand, and government officers don't understand.
Doctor, one thing I wanted to ask you about, we touched on this with somebody the other day, or I had a discussion about it. Maybe you could explain it for our audience. The vaccine that's being produced by China and also Russia is a vaccine that plays upon putting a little insert into the human cell to sort of almost change the response. Is there any danger, like for your own DNA? Say, we've heard stories that maybe you shouldn't have sexual relations for several weeks or a month after getting this vaccine because of the introduction of it, perhaps even into human egg or the sperm cells?
You mean the virus go to the sperm, right? I mean, there are studies in China before to show that when you get infected of the SARS-CoV-2, later the sperm even get tested.
No, I understand, but the vaccine could interrupt the actual fertilization process, right? You're actually inserting a little chunk of DNA potentially into that, no?
If we're talking about vaccine first, now here we use some other inactivated vaccines. People said, they use the attenuated one using other vectors. So here, if they didn't produce the, poor quality inactivated vaccine, I mean, they didn't mix some still alive virus into their inactivated vaccine, then this chance may be very little, because that is just as we know now happened when you're infected with the live virus during the pandemic. But that doesn't mean the vaccine won't give you other side effects, because just we mentioned there are many mechanisms that vaccine can induce the side effect when you get injected. It includes the for example, it cannot face to the mutant virus, and so cannot provide you enough protection because they don't recognize the mutant one, or maybe they get antibody-dependent enhancement, which already we know in China, actually in their trials, clinical trials, they are going to publish this data. They admit there are a lot of such ADE in fact, but when we review it through those media, they quickly delete this report. So this is come from Shanghai, and also the Professor金冬雁in University of Hong Kong pointed out too. But government now doesn't want to talk about, they delete it. And also there may be the allergy effect and other things. That's why we always emphasize that animal experiment is important and clinical 1, 2, 3 is important because it's a process to let you evaluate different aspects of the vaccine.
Okay, one thing I want to make clear, we said the Chinese have never created a vaccination around 1450. They were the ones that discovered that by inoculating people with the more benign cowpox, it would create immunity for smallpox. So give them kudos for that 500 years ago.
天花病毒随着汉朝军队带回中原的俘虏，入侵了这片大地，中国人也开始了对抗天花的漫长历程。在防疫方法尚未成熟的年代，每3个孩子就有1个死于天花，而且由于患者身上和脸上都会长出一颗颗痘疮，侥幸痊愈者也会在脸上留下一点麻子。面对如此凶恶的病毒，我们老祖宗的做法是以毒攻毒。当时人们发现，只要得过天花又痊愈的人，就不会在余生中再次感染天花，于是就有了预防天花的种痘法。主要做法就是把取自病人身上的天花脓液或粉末塞进或者吹进健康人的鼻孔里，让接种者引起轻度感染，待恢复后就能获得终身的免疫力。相传宋朝的时候就有这种以毒攻毒的预防方法了。
In China, why we say they are not capable to generate the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine. It's not because we want ruin the reputation of Chinese scientists. We have a lot of good Chinese scientists, but the thing is, for the SARS-CoV-2, at least at this moment, based on the experience from SARS and our knowledge in the vaccine development for this recent decade, we cannot say the good idea to generate the vaccine anti-SARS-CoV-2 in a short time. There are some companies, they try to recruit the advanced knowledge, like Moderna, they are using the mRNA or something. So we expect to see their result based on the data published. But back to the China, until now, they're still using the old technique. And those ones already proven to be failed in SARS time. And also, their manufacture, their capacity in produce the large scale of the vaccine are not good. And we say their cold chain supply is not good. And the expert anti-COVID-19, the Dr. Zhang Wenhong also told the media before that we won't expect the big production of the Chinese COVID-19 vaccine because we even cannot make the qualified glass vials to hold these vaccines. So these are the things they dare to say in the media. And as I know I know deeply about the Chinese scientific field and also how this technique developed. So I can tell you, in this case, you should trust maybe CDC better than CCP government announced COVID-19 vaccine.